moving on. The next fight we got is our boy Kevin Holland fighting Makhmud Muradov.
All right. So, Kevin Holland, this is one guy, I'm not going to lie, I definitely messaged this man for an interview, and I'm going to keep messaging because there might not be a fighter that I want to talk to more, not as like a fanboy thing, but the guy is a fan of the sport. And I think he brings an interesting take to the table because he's also so confident in himself. So I like to see how he analyzes other fights because these are the kind of guys who are, as they get older, maybe once their UFC career is done, this is the kind of guy I want to see get an opportunity as, one of the desk guys, one of the ringside guys. He could be really funny in that. He's got knowledge. He respects the game. But looking at him as a fighter, you've seen him fight a few times. Before I get into some technical stuff, what do you think about it?
Well, this is one that he kind of took on short notice, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how he can kind of be prepared for Makhmud, But yeah, in terms of fight, give us a little bit more on this one.
Yeah, so Krzysztof Jotko was supposed to fight, but he broke his toe. So the thing with, I follow him pretty heavily. So Holland is usually in camp, he doesn't stop training, and he has fought quite a bit in 2020 already. Now the big thing is, Joaquin Buckley is the knockout of the year everybody's talking about, right? Against Ipaka Sanganaya. But if you think about his previous, in Kevin Holland's fight, he got decked out real good by Kevin. Kevin was the more technical striker. Kevin made sure to tire him out, beat him up with kicks, beat the body up. And, by the later rounds of the fight, it was just too much for him to handle. And that's what I really love about Kevin is he might act like the kind of guy that doesn't put a lot of, brain behind the brawn. But trust me when I tell you, listening to him talk, listening to him analyze the fights, he really does love this sport. And I think that shows in his fights. I don't think there's a more entertaining fighter for me in the UFC right now. And I'm talking inside the octagon, outside the octagon. He is fun to watch.
Overall persona.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't like that, right? People don't like the guy that's friendly in the octagon. People want to see two guys rip each other's heads off. But my favorite part of this whole goddamn thing is two guys going in there, technically speaking, beating the shit out of each other and hogging the shit out of each other after it. Yeah. It's such a martial artist thing that you're missing from the general persona of the sport, you see the blood and all that stuff, but there is that mutual respect. And Kevin Holland,
it's a sport. Yeah, it's a sport at the end of the day, and these guys have a true love and appreciation for the sport, and a true love and respect for each other. So you're right. I kind of can appreciate that, and what you're saying, given his experience, his history. All of that should help coincide the fact that he had to take this on short notice.
But here's the thing now. So, we know what he brings to the table. He's putting that 3-fight win streak on the line. Let's get into our boy Muradov a little bit, right? So he's 2-0 in the UFC, 24-6 overall. Talk about my boy Kevin Holland willing to take any fight. You know what I'm saying? This is a tough fight, but he's down to test it because this guy's a good striker. He's going to be good at keeping the distance. He's what I would say stays on that bike. You know what I mean? But he's constantly moving. He's constantly trying to stay out of the way.
His motor's going.
And the one thing that I'm going to put on Kevin Holland as a fighter is he's going to watch tape, and I do believe he's going to notice how this man constantly throws an overhand right. If Kevin Holland gets caught by that overhand right, I'm telling you right now, I've overrated him overall. No, I'm overrating him. Okay. Because that's how telegraphed that shot was in the fights that I've watched of him. Against Trevor Smith, it was very similar. I think you saw very similarly how he just kept going for it, just kept over, and he finally got it, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful knockout, without question. But unfortunately, it's kind of like a gun. You got one bullet. At the end of the day, it's not like it's going to pull out 6 different weapons and just go.
Yeah.
You got to avoid that.
No, if it does catch him by surprise, then there's something wrong there for sure.
And I'm still going to give Muradov the edge in odds here. I'm going to say he's probably a minus 150 to a minus 210, minus 220, just based on the record, based on the short notice fight. I just think you can give him the edge there.
To be honest, it seems like Vegas is actually siding with the public play here, which will probably end up being Kevin Holland because, he's a minus 165 in this bout, which is actually a little bit surprising given that we just said he took this fight, a week ago? So, yeah, I mean, it looks like there's good value on Makhmud. What are your kind of feeling after seeing that, the favorite is actually Kevin Holland?
Well, I didn't think the odds were going to be separated that much, and I guess they think the same way with me as, the short notice fight seems to be not so much. And I think as a distance fighter, I think Kevin Holland's a lot better at it. I think he's going to be able to bring a bit more of the technical aspect. By what I've seen, I think there's going to be a bit more for him to throw at him. I think he's going to be able to read the fight a lot better. And, it'd be interesting to see how his cardio holds up in the rounds 2 or 3. But I'm very, very firm to the belief that he's been training pretty much all year round.
Throughout, yeah, for sure. So stay tuned for that one. Doesn't look like we're leaning either way.
Probably my favorite fight on the card.
Oh, wow. High praise.